What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Redemption 46 Studios. I'm Nick.
안녕, 로입니다.
Keith.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Curtis.
You know the vibes. Y'all seen the picture. Y'all seen the thumbnail. Y'all know why y'all here. Red Velvet, Monster. Don't be a monster. Don't be mean. Hit the subscribe button. Become a real redeemer today. And if you are friends with the Monster, jump on the Patreon. It's going to be exclusive Red Velvet content.
You look over here.
Friends with the Monster.
Oh, boy.
No.
I knew it was fucking coming, bro.
IRENE and Sugi looks like they're back.
Surprised you ain't do the damn gingerbread man.
Yeah. Not the buttons. Gumdrop buttons. Hey.
You're a monster. It looks like it.
Yeah, that's a crazy pose. Yeah, man, no long talk with this, man. Redeemers, this was kind of like they kind of had like 3 songs from the rip after Naughty to like do this. I thought this was a full-on Red Velvet song, but I don't mind some more IRENE and Sugi.
I bet not.
It was, let's jump into this. Mm-hmm. Y'all gonna turn me into a monster.
Naughty.
움직임은 특이해 평범치 않아. One to 5 to 7 난 어둠 속에 댄서. 온몸도 뜨거워 심장 가까이 갈게. 무시무시하게 내 심장을 훔쳐 지배해. 하나의 조명불 그림자는 두드려 날 속에 다른 게 눈에 뜬 것 같아.
Turning it. Oh. Oh no, that's hot, Keith. That's hot. No, I'm a moment, nigga.
No, just that part of the production is fire.
Woo!
To add like kid chants in there. I don't know why this isn't done more often.
I wouldn't refuse you. This is just all 8 tracks? Production is nasty on this. Hit him with that. I'm a little monster.
That formation was sick too.
The choreo is fucking.
Now this
Monster.
somebody really ripped somebody up with this one. I'm not gonna lie.
We could have had this one battle.
Nah, Keith, but I like it though. The little kids where it's like, man, it's
haunting.
I'm a little monster. It's like haunting and childish.
But I don't understand why most people don't, especially when you have darker songs. That shit is creepy. How many times like have we watched the movie, or even when we were watching like what was the zombie joint on Netflix? All of Us Are Dead. In the episode where he ran into the nursery, I was like, I swear to God, I better not see no fucking zombie babies. That shit is, like, for whatever reason, that's a real like a fear, because I guess people don't want to hurt kids. I'll fuck them kids up.
How we get here?
But all in all, like just a child's voice over like a haunting beat is scary. So like the 1-2 Freddie, like that is like that whole thing. I don't know why people don't use that more as an element in music.
It comes back to, weirdly enough, in horror, the idea that there's I'm trying to think of the word for it. It's
like there's safety, like kids and don't get hurt.
It is the juxtaposition. It's the same thing with clowns. I forget the thing, but basically when something looks inviting but it's unsettling, it's like that. Do I step forward? Do I step back? And it's kind of like when you tote that line, that's where the unsubtlety kind of comes in, or unsettling feeling comes in. But they definitely walk that very well here with that childlike kind of monster aspect.
Yeah, it's just so many things I think that works well for this. I just said on, what was it, 28 Reasons, that like I didn't want to get into more of this Red Velvet content because
you
it's
have
just
no choice.
I can easily see them being top 3 in choreo. Like out of girl groups and even fucking with some men groups.
I must have blinked.
They did. You was talking to me and shit when the fake Shinigami type mask.
The Oni came out.
Yeah. Their choreo is just different. What they're able to do, kind of with like just movements and shit, and kind of not looking at each other. They moving like fucking goat tents and Trunks doing a fusion dance.
No, so I'm glad, because I was gonna bring that up. Choreo is fire, right? It's even harder when one half is on one side, one half is mirroring the other side. So it's not like we're all in the same room, we're learning the same thing. So if you step with your left foot, I got to step with my right foot, and I got to remember that despite looking at you. We might even have to have 2 different choreo sessions until we get it together, and then we can put us in the same room. But like that shit is crazy.
They just seem so comfortable because they'll just like kind of start here doing something, then turn their back to each other and still be here with you, and it's a lot that's going into this, and it's so many different layers of it because it's like them, the backup dancers, them kind of doing certain placement where the camera is going to be at, and even kind of playing with the camera and treating that like another person in the room. It's just so many good things with this, and then outside of the choreo, they are killing all these tracks too. Just the production on here is just. And it feels like we've ran into some of these tracks at a perfect time, because right now in K-pop everything seems so like bubbly and happy, and that's cool.
It's not.
But just like those darker elements and shit seem to be going left while other things are going right. Even though some of this stuff is a little older. I forget which one is newer. One of these are newer. I think 28 Reasons is newer, but they're different, man. I would like to see this kind of in a dance practice format too, just to kind of see what's up with the what's up. Make sure y'all jump on the Patreon, man. This is Red Velvet done earned themselves some shit this month. They done earned themselves some live performances, a dance practice, a guy. It's like, y'all ain't act like this fast over nobody else.
No, that's not true.
We have, yeah. We draw when we got into the Mama
Sounds like
Moo
we've been
content,
telling
like,
What was the last group that we did? The girls.
Twice New Jeans.
Twice New Jeans. And what was the one that we just did recently? Not La Seraphim, but the one that you like with the chick that was all red with the cowboy hat. She got the
EXID.
EXID.
Oh, yeah.
We drawed when we got into them too.
Nah, we fell in love with the other group too. Who when we did
the one that they were in the gym and they had like the school uniforms on. I said they all look alike.
The joint, we did like 3 bangers in a row.
That was them. That was them.
We've done some shit.
I can't think of the name though.
I can't neither. I feel like you should know this.
I don't think he was there.
Nah, he wasn't, but he was there when we did like the 2-peat for the other joints and shit. It's one of the top 5 groups for you and shit. I can't think of their name and shit like that outside of them. Yeah, outside we know Dreamcatcher. That's gonna bother me
because
now.
the second video
was
we
it
did.
Starlight.
Oh,
Luna. Good job, love.
Sing that. That's my shit.
Yeah, I know I get you.
we still ain't really spinning the block on Itzy, but we did a couple of their drums.
They got a battle and shit. Locals.
Yeah, I
fire.
got
Mafia
some
in the morning.
Itzy biases, Region and Cheon.
I thought this was cool, man. I actually like this better than the first show we watched last week or the week before for the choreo battle.
Was it Naughty?
Naughty.
Yeah, Naughty. That's right.
I could tell this is gonna be on King Time, man. Look at this thumbnail, dog.
Definitely like this one better. I thought it was a lot more smoother, and you definitely see that reflected in the choreo. Now, the thing that like I said, that I didn't, it wasn't me slighting. It just I kind of took points away from, as far as like seeing them doing more than tutting and everything like that. I actually saw them throw a little splash of the tutting in this, even though they're doing so much more this time and everything like that.
There was tutting in the what was the last show we did with the solo? She did some finger tutting in that, so
yeah, like they
That's
just like non-stop. You know what I'm saying? Just like continuous motion. Even with it was like precise stops and still fluid, everything like that. I love
a lot
that.
of voguing.
I was gonna say I don't even know if we saw Vogan
Whacking.
before.
I've
Some
never,
voguing, some whacking.
This is my first time really getting a glimpse of like Irene and everything. And Wendy is like the one I'm like have an attachment to from this group so far, just from like other content or like show and everything like that. But these two, man,
Love them shots.
Irene and Sugi, yeah. Damn it, man.
Heathen.
SM.
Oh, I know.
S&M.
These two made fire. Production on this fire. Video fire. The dance fire. The looks fire.
It's a fire sale.
Everything's on fire.
Everything must go,
Everything. But they can stay.
Is your heart
but
on
they
fire?
can stay.
They can stay.
Is your heart on fire?
They put the fire out.
Hearts on fire.
Real love will do that.
Rocky 4, if you know, you know.
I like this. I like this a lot. I like the production the most. Like that little break they had at the end. I felt like that was one of the best I've heard in a long time. Like, I don't know where I heard that. That just took me to another place. I wish my friend.
I was gonna sing
I wish my
Tennessee.
friend was here today. Hashtag I can smoke to this because this definitely was a banger.
Shy Shiggity.
But this was definitely fire.
Yeah, this was honestly really incredible. Like I think everything that they were doing within the production was something that was like musically just just like sonically it just sounded good and everything with the production, but everything that they were kind of doing specifically within the choreography and with their integration with the vocals and the lyrics and everything, like it just made for like a really like an all-encompassing kind of song for me. So it's definitely a download. But like for example, within the choreo thing I really like too is when it starts in the formation, you get like the the aspect of like whatever the monster represents in the back. And before that verse starts, I forget exactly who it was, if it was Irene or Seulgi, excuse me, but they jump to the front of the formation, seemingly as though like that monster is like taken over, and then that's when you get that first verse and everything like that. And they did a lot of kind of cool integrations with that, as far as who was taking on kind of more of the monster persona. The Tutton was narratively motivated in that case as well, as far as like the being controlled aspect, almost as though as we had said in previous choreographies, as far as marionetting. Like that idea of kind of being controlled. So I like that they integrated those aspects as well. And then even when they ended up being side by side when they were dancing, it was as though you were kind of like one with the demon or the monster in that proverbial situation. And lastly, kind of when they were huddling up with some of the background dancers, I like that they, how that's I believe like almost like a camping like sort of Boy Scout thing, where it's like if you're trying to intimidate a larger opponent, you kind of huddle and like
make yourself bigger.
Make yourself a bigger. So it looked like they were carrying that persona of like the monster being bigger and kind of like in that stalkerish sort of pose that they were doing. So I think that was something that was really great as well.
And the formation where they were kind of locking arms.
Yeah, exactly.
It was also the same formation in the beginning of the video too, which I thought was dope as well. The parallel, the start ended the way they start. So they tell you about the monster and they go back to being the monster. Essentially,
full circle. And even the background dancers being kind of blindfolded as though they're like out of control, being blinded to this situation. So I thought that played into it really well. As far as some of the singing, the notes they were hitting, and just the way they harmonize and kind of synergize together, both in the choreography and vocally, I thought that was something that definitely stood out and continues to stand out when we check out more of their tracks. It definitely feels right in the same sort of vein. So I don't know if it's album or anything like that particularly, but the way this fits in with Psycho, fits in with 28 Reasons, fits in with Naughty, and then now Monster, like they all feel like they're really like similar theme wise and everything. Definitely K-pop After Dark, Demon Time for sure. And I really like how they in the lyrics, particularly in the beginning, they had said that the one single light reveals two shadows. Keeping with that, that duality, the shadow aspect of everything. So I like how poetically they also played on some of those aspects in the writing as well. But yeah, I mean, when you look at the choreo, the production, lyrics, there's synergy, both in the vocals and everything like that too. And then just visually, everything that was going on with the video, it really hit kind of on all the checks off the list for me. So it's definitely a download for me. And the more we hear of Red Velvet, and particularly of IRENE and Seulgi, more I'm invested.
Yeah, they subunit is literally called Fantastic.
They are.
But yeah, Kurt, like you said, I'm definitely seeing a theme too. Yeah. This is off their first EP together, which is like an 8-title track. You just, I think, kind of keep seeing like these themes, or like these like almost like dualities, or like, I don't want to say like split personalities, but just the light and dark within like one person, from the especially when you take this Naughty and 28 Reasons.
I can imagine even just album wise, like how they progress and tell that story, because they're doing it within the specific tracks, but when you're putting them all together too, I kind of album wise, like conceptually, theme wise, kind of wonder how they wrap up that story. Even honestly, even if this theoretically were the end track on the album, because as Keith had said with the choreo, as far as how they bring the monster thing full circle in it, like maybe you're embracing that darkness by the end of the album, as opposed to
it's the first track.
Okay, so that makes sense. But I like how those things play into conceptual larger pieces within albums. So all I have to say, I really like what they're doing conceptually as well.
Yeah, that would also kind of give them a leg up too. Not to turn this like into a comparison thing, but just another group who like can do concepts and everything, which was, I'm not gonna call it like a knock on some SM groups and stuff, with us trying to like see what concepts they were like trying to get into. But I think it just kind of gives you a leg up once you're like writing, producing your own stuff. You do concepts, you do turn up songs, you have ballads, you know what I mean? You have these sleeper B-sides, you got these larger than life songs, you do your dance choreo is next tier, your visualing. It just really puts you into that stratosphere where like you're kind of like that top 3 group, and if someone doesn't have you in the 3, I would like to hear their 3 and just kind of go from there. But yeah.
Honestly, I thought the video was cool. Actually, that's underselling. I thought this video was fucking amazing. Everything about it, no, seriously, everything about the video was great. I love the choreography. I love the way it was shot. It was almost shot like a stained glass. In the concept that it's very, very high contrast. The colors are very dark, but also the lights are very, very light, and it doesn't seem like it hurts one hurts the other. So like it definitely kind of shines through. Like it's bright and colorful yet dark at the same time, if that makes sense. Kind of like a stained glass window, especially the older ones you see in like the old churches. Everybody has that old church. But this was like great as far as like, I think we talked about the mirroring choreography earlier, and just like the storytelling within the choreography. The beginning and the ending matching. Also, like, kind of just the story they tell in the video too. Just like, I mean, we are all like, it's almost, I'm not going to compare it. So I'm not going to compare it. So it's almost like being one person living in the same body. Kind of like, your shadow self, and just kind of telling both sides of that story. Definitely a fire video. Honestly, if they, and I'm not a solo stand guy, but if they stepped out on their own, they would be fucking fine, bro. I can only imagine what they do as a group together if this is just 2 members of the group. But you can definitely see a theme. I wonder if a lot of their concepts are from their own mind, dealing with maybe things in the K-pop world as a woman, or maybe just dealing with things within themselves where they feel like they have to play nice when they're really the monster in certain situations, or they want to be the monster in certain situations, and maybe they just can't speak as they would like to.
What if this is a diss song?
Maybe that could be it too.
It's a diss song to the K-World. Shit. I'm a little monster.
I mean, because
monsters live forever.
You'll find a like even in American music, a lot of women do speak that way. They speak through things that they can never speak of in their music, like "Hit Me With Your Best Shot." Was it "Hit Me With"? No, it's not "Hit Me With Your Best Shot." It's one of those.
It's a good song.
No, it is a good song, but there was a song where I think the 2 sisters went into a group with a production manager, and he was hitting on his sister, so they came out with a song, and they were literally talking shit to him during their song. But the way they did it, you would never know it, because you know what I mean. The story didn't come out too much later, but they were like, if we even if we gave you the chance, you wouldn't even know what to do with it. If I can remember the song, I'll tell you, but obviously you guys won't hear it. But Like, so women have been doing that, like, throughout the time, just kind of, like, giving clues as to who their personality really is in a world that doesn't want to hear who their personality really is. They just want to see pretty faces and dance. That's cool. But
unfortunately, that's when the best music comes out. Is
exactly.
out of a lot of heartache.
Look,
and, you know,
bro, you know what?
A lot
On the
of
way
people
up here,
use their pain as their passion.
on the way up here, I was listening to Velvet Rope. Probably her best album to me. But it's like so autobiographical as to what she was going through and things that she couldn't speak of. Like, remember, she was going through that phase where she was in the women for a while, and that was like, oh my God, it's so taboo. Not Janet Jackson. But like, no, that shit was fire, bro. But you had to get past the bullshit to listen to it. But all in all, I just like music like this. I feel like it's a lot deeper than surface level, just happiness shit. Because, I mean, that's, no, seriously, that's some people, I mean, that's cool sometimes, but not everybody's like that. Like, sometimes I don't want to hear about fucking unicorns and rainbows and shit. Like, that doesn't appeal to me. I want to hear about, like, the demons that you got going on. I want to hear, like, you know what I mean, like, the duality that you have within you. Like, when we talked about this before, even when it comes to writing or film, my favorite characters are the ones with duality. Like, even if you go back to heroes, like people like Sylar, or, you know what I mean, just people who you can flip, or the villains in Marvel lately, like, you know, your Killmongers, your Namors, or your, what is it, your Kukulkans, or, you know what I mean?
People that feel like people.
Even Thanos, yeah, people that feel like people. Like, nobody's 100% good, nobody's 100% bad. I need to see some duality. Everybody has a moment where, like, they have that, it's teetering on the line.
It also ties into that idea of any time a success of any level is achieved, it's often made more important or of a more significant meaning when you know the hardships that went through it. So seeing those darker, you know, songs, characters in film, it makes the, you know, no pun intended, the redemption of those things kind of stand out that much more.
Yeah. I would agree with that, but also, like, sometimes even seeing the darker things, even if there isn't really a redemption to the deed, the thought process of what they had to go through, what they were embattled with. This is a religious thing, but like, so like, even if you take the crucifixion of Christ, like, there was a moment where he was just going to walk away. Like, I'm done. I'm not doing this, bro. The Garden of Gethsemane, which is not talked about a lot, was him basically praying all night saying, look, I don't want to do this. Like, is there another way to do this? Can we figure a way out of this? Like, send me an angel down. Get me out of here. Give me an Uber.
It comes back to that temptation as far as the tug of war aspect of it as well.
And, like, at the basic, you know, at the end of the day, it was like, well, this is my decision. This is what you asked me to do. This is what I'm going to do. But there was definitely dark moments in there, but there wasn't a redemption aspect of it to it because he never went the other way. He just kind of blind faith and went and did what he had to do. But those moments are very important. Those moments are very intriguing, and they kind of make the good stuff that does happen out of those moments even seem way better because you know what he actually, you know, the temptation that he was presented with, and to still choose the right path. But that's with anything and anybody and any character. That was just one story that happened I think of at the top of my head. But I definitely like hearing music that presents that darker side because I don't think it's talked about enough.
I'm interested too to see the rest of this because it looks like Monsters, the intro. Then you have Diamond, Feel Good, Jelly, and Uncover. The EP is literally 16 minutes long, but it's. I mean, look at how much
it takes longer for our order to get here.
Yeah, but I think I find that amazing with K-pop too, that like even with their EPs, when it's like 4 or 5 songs, 16, 20 minutes of content, somehow they're able to tell like a fluid story within that and stuff.
Because it's not a Naruto joint where it's a bunch of fillers.
There's some filler and
It's
stuff.
weirdly enough too though, even in like 3-minute tracks you can get whole kind of stories of like, you know, well, I mean, yeah, we've seen like 3-minute songs tell, you know, incredible, complete stories.
I was gonna start naming names too. I didn't even feel like turning it into that.
It was gonna
I mean, it's a heist. We get in, you say what we got to say, we get the fuck out for the cops go.
Nah, I think that's always gonna be a staple in like K-pop. Just them being able to kind of tell stories visually, them be able to tell it on wax, and then for them, whether it's an EP or whether it's a full-length album, for them to kind of really get their concept across. And I think that us leaning into some of these kind of more mature like concepts, you know, not saying we got anything against like time traveling, like, you know, space vampires or something. I think some of that stuff is
you
like,
love the time traveling.
I do,
vampires.
but I think not like I don't want to call something like childish or saying that sometimes that may be something that everybody can't get into. I think some of these other concepts are a little easier to kind of fall into, especially when they talk about like I said, the whole duality of like light and darkness and what's right and what's wrong. Those
Also,
are kind of moral things that we all can kind of
timeless.
lean into.
It's timeless.
Exactly. It's just something that's going
Cain and
to
Abel, Adam and Eve.
and everybody can relate to it a little
Beef
bit
and
more.
broccoli.
It's,
Tying it back to the biblical thing again.
can we all relate to vampires? Maybe. I don't know. My sleep schedule, maybe.
Yeah, definitely with the sleep schedule.
And some groups that
And a bunch of blood
that
sucking women.
some of them groups that have those concepts and that write at an excellent level can get you into those worlds.
No,
but
really.
for people who are more on some chill shit, these concepts are probably a lot more alluring.
I mean, because like you can tune this back to like people who deal with mental health issues and depression. I don't really like. You probably could, if you really wanted to, make the parallel between vampires and mental health, and like like if they suck blood, this is sucking my energy, sucking my mental health, sucking my mood. You know what I
Alive at
mean?
night.
Yeah, but like not everybody. This is a much easier comparison, a much easier parallel to like because it's almost a fill in the blank type monster. It could be whatever you need it to be for that time and point.
We're all fighting some
works.
monster.
Yeah, pretty much. Monsters under your bed
a
or
great
My
metaphor.
job.
Rihanna in a Lamborghini.
My
Either way.
life. My life is the monster. My wife is the monster.
Will Smith?
Yo, jump in the comments, man. Tell us how y'all feel about this, John. Tell us where y'all rate this choreo at. And tell us how y'all feel about the album. If y'all want us to jump in some more of the B-sides, we'd be glad to do that. But it's all up to y'all, Redeemers. The power is yours.
Oh, God.
If you're not subscribed to the channel, you are a little monster.
If you know the reference, man, blast Nick in the comments. Just, yeah.
If you're a real big monster, jump on the Patreon. There's going to be some exclusive content up on there. Red Velvet in this bitch. SM. Yeah, they paid me. Y'all caught me. So, you know. They didn't pay me. I wish. We need the SM check.
Yeah,
But we love y'all, man. Peace.
Love y'all.
We'll take one.
Take care.